What's up, guys? It's Chad with Living the Van Life up here in Washington, and we're at about 5,000 feet elevation. I'm up here in the middle of a winter storm warning at the end of November, and it's dumping down snow outside. One of the things that I realized by watching YouTube is that the fact that there is lacking content of people actually out in the cold weather camping in their van. And so I decided I wanted to start filling that gap with some more content about cold weather survival while living in a van. And not just sitting around talking about it, but actually getting up and doing it. So here I am. It is probably about 25 degrees outside, and it's snowing heavily. Woo, nice and blustery out here. It's cold. Let's take a look here. So I've got the thermometer set out here on the front bumper. 25, maybe 28 degrees Fahrenheit up here. Let's go back inside where it's warm. I wanted to do a video about cooking in a van in the wintertime while it's snowing outside. When it comes to cooking, I am absolutely no expert at all. In fact, I like to keep things as simple as possible. Not only are we cold weather camping, we're actually cooking in a cold weather environment in a van. So anyways, here's a little bit of a cooking episode for you guys. I hope you guys enjoy. If you guys want to see the full camp video, cold weather camping in a van, check out the link above. Anyways, guys, enjoy the video. When it comes down to living in a van, I just like to keep things simple. And not only with just the way I live, but also with the way I cook. By no means am I any sort of expert when it comes to cooking. I keep things simple. That's my basic rule of thumb. Tonight, my ingredients are going to be boneless, skinless chicken thighs, 2 cloves of garlic, 1 zucchini squash, a handful of green beans, a Mayan sweet onion, and a handful of mushrooms. Guys, this is what I'm cooking with. I'm going to stir fry it up in a skillet over the Westfalia stove, but in the meantime, I'm just going to do a little bit of preparation. I'm cooking with some sesame oil. To me, I just love the flavor of sesame oil. When I work with my chicken here, I'm going to cut it up into slices. The boneless, skinless chicken thighs, just nice tender meat, mixed together with the sesame oil. On top of that, I'm going to go with some Montreal steak seasoning. Together with the sesame oil on the chicken, it's going to be good. So, normally, I would have a cutting board for this. I'm fresh back into the van life again, and at this point, I'm using paper plates. It's about keeping things simple. It's about making do with what you got. I just want to cut the chicken up into smaller bits so that it makes a good stir fry. The thing that I like about boneless, skinless chicken thighs is that it's a nice tender cut of chicken. Really, my whole goal here is just to get these chickens in smaller, manageable chunks so that when it goes into the skillet, it just mixes in nicely with the vegetables. There's my chicken prepped. What I want to do is I want to work in the sesame oil and the seasoning on that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the sesame oil. I don't want to get too much on there, but I want to get enough so I can get good coverage on the meat. Roll the meat around in this oil here. Get a nice coating of oil on all sides of the chicken. I'm going to go ahead and top that off, like I said, with some Montreal steak seasoning. Give it a nice coating over the top. I like it simple. I like the nice flavor of a sesame seed oil, but then I like the savory taste of the Montreal steak seasoning. Zucchini squash. I just love zucchini squash. Right down the middle. I cut it in quarters. I keep it all together so that I can come at the end of it and just basically quarter it just like that. I just know it is sub-freezing temperatures outside. I've got the top popped up in my Volkswagen Westfalia. We're cooking some good food. The Mr. Heater is on right behind me. I'm going to take these green beans and just cut them into smaller sections so that it stirs up nicely with the other vegetables. Garlic cloves, these are always fun. I like to mince up my garlic. I like to start out with that, get a nice bed of flavor going in the bottom of my skillet. And then when I start my chicken in there, it can be cooking along right in that good bed of flavor of garlic We're going to start that first. I love what an onion does for the flavor of a stir-fry style of meal. I think I'm going to go with half an onion on this. I'm just going to get this into manageable sized pieces so that when it goes on the skillet with the other vegetables, they all mix up nicely together. Simple, simple. There's my onions. I'm going to put them right there on my plate with the vegetables. We're going to start the garlic first, then we're going to set the chicken in, then we're going to go in for the vegetables, finish it off with a nice seasoning with the sesame oil, and be good. I'm just going to take and quarter the mushrooms. And there we go. Here's my ingredients. Living the van life. This is the great thing about the Volkswagen Westfalia. Here we've got a 2-burner stove that's going to be excellent for cooking the meal that we're wanting to prep right here. For tonight's meal, I'm going to go ahead and prep on a cast iron skillet. This particular cast iron actually has been in the family for many, many years. It's well seasoned. In my opinion, there's nothing like cooking a good stir-fry meal like what I've got here up in a skillet like this. So, getting the skillet nice and warmed up. A little bit of sesame oil in there. I'm going to go ahead and start with the garlic. Get that sauteing. Anytime I cook in my van, I like to have as much ventilation as possible. Right now I've got my 2 front windows ventilated, as well as the top hatch up above. I've got a good brown going on there. Figure that's a good bed of flavor of garlic laid down there. I'm going to go ahead and bring in my chicken. Start with my chicken because that's going to take the longest to cook. The smell of that sesame oil in and around that garlic is going to be some great flavor. Like I said, I put some of the McCormick's Montreal steak seasoning on that chicken. So we've got that going for the seasoning as well. There's been a good probably 3 or 4 inches of snow falling outside now. It's about 8:30 in the evening. Just hanging out, enjoying van life up here in the mountains. Next, I'm going to go with my onions. Get my onions going on up in there. That's going to add nice flavor to the meat as it's cooking. At this point, I'm going to go ahead and add some more Montreal steak seasoning into there. Just because it says it's steak seasoning doesn't mean that you can't use it in other things, like chicken and vegetables with sesame oil. Get creative. I'm going to go ahead and add the rest of the vegetables now. My goal is working from the top down. Garlic gets your good flavor bed going in there. Meat is the most important to cook, so put that in next. That way it's soaking up the flavor of that garlic. And then onions are going to go ahead and simmer in amongst that. Green beans going to be the next hardest thing, and the zucchini squash. Like I said, I just like to keep it basic. I'm going to go ahead and add a little bit more sesame oil in there. Let that be the basis of the flavor. Now that I've got more vegetables in there, add a little more of the Montreal steak seasoning. Take my plate of mushrooms. I'm going to go ahead and drop those in there. Then I'm going to turn things down a little bit. Let things just cook in a little bit there. Well guys, this is what it's all about. Being able to drive your home on wheels from sea level up into the mountains where it's snowing, and be able to have the shelter, prep the meal, and just enjoy a good time of being in someplace different, having the freedom of being able to do whatever you want. I think that's the great thing about it. I'd say it's about time to sit down and enjoy this cup of whiskey, enjoy this meal, and most of all, enjoy the freedom of van life. Skillet has turned out really good. Looks delicious. I just want to reiterate, this is by no means any professionally gourmet cooked meal. This is just how I like to keep it simple when it comes to living in a van. Chicken, green beans, onions, garlic, mushrooms, and a little bit of whiskey. Van life, up in the snow, winter camping at its finest. There's just something about simplicity that can't replace it. Yeah. Guys, you guys should get out in your van, and you guys should make a video about cooking your favorite meal, or your favorite camping spot, or your favorite camping season. What I want most out of any of these videos is for you guys to be inspired. For you guys to be inspired to go live in your van and do something with your life. Because you know what? We got one life to live on this earth. Might as well just go ahead and live it. Guys, if you're new to the channel, make sure you click that subscribe button. Click the like button. And most of all, leave your comment down below. What's your craziest winter camping situation? And how did you prep for it? I want to know all about it. Guys, peace out. Keep on trucking.